Good evening, everybody. Wow, it's round 3. It's a Saturday night. It's 21:30, 9:30 in the evening, and we're at Imola. And this is the third round of RWB's F1 League. I can't bloody wait. Earlier on this evening, my wife said to me, "Oh, Formula One's on, love. I think they're just qualified." Not interested. I've got the proper Formula One to watch here, which is almost a little bit daft when you consider that this isn't real. But for me it is, and I'll tell you why. Because I know every single person out there, and I know that they've been practicing hard since last week, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But before we do, as normal, let me introduce my friend with us this evening. Now, some people say that he's got hydraulics for legs, he's got cameras for eyes, he's got super sharp senses. All we know is he's called Speed. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing cracking, mate, on this fine Saturday evening here in Italy. Sat with you in this sweaty commentary box.
Dirty, sweaty commentary box.
That's not been clean for 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Crisp packets, Mars bars, half-eaten Mars bars, stale coffee, and orange juice all over. So yeah,
and something that looks like a used sock in the corner. I think that's from Charger when he was in here with us. We'll have to have a word with him later on. Seriously though, I've been really looking forward to this. And earlier on, just before I introduce you, I said that these guys have been practicing hard since pretty much after the event last week. Some of these guys started early hours of the morning on Sunday, didn't they?
Some of them even started soon, not 10 minutes after the race had finished. I know some of them started practicing for this week.
Yeah, particularly C-Hacks. I know he has put in hundreds of laps around here, as are some of those. Look at that there, as I mentioned him, bang, 1:14.537. Now, Speed, I also know that you've put in a fair few laps around here in different types of trims. Can you give us some sort of idea? What is a fast lap around?
Oof. To be honest, C-Hacks has probably been the quickest this week. I was in the high 13s in qualifying trim, and obviously C-Hacks was, maybe half a second to a second back, depending on his thing. But obviously there's Pinto out there. I've not seen him practice today. Rodders, Milan, is it Milan?
Yeah, Milan,
and obviously Rigel's done a lot of. So I know Rodders and Rigel have done a lot of race practice, not so much qualifying, but you expect them to be there. So it's going to be a cracking one.
Yeah, it is. Now, Speed, hate to put us on the spot, but who is C-Hack's teammate? Because he's got no team name in there. Is he a lone wolf in there?
C-Hack is Tom Weaven on Race App. I don't think he's got. Has he got a teammate? Yes, he's got H-Tune.
Okay, well, look, shout out to you, C-Hacks. When you watch this back, sort your admin out, please. And next week, please ensure you put your team name down there. You've got people watching this. We're commentating. We need to have that sort of info. So please put your team name in there. Cool. We wish him well and we wish him luck. I know he's going to do really, really well. Back onto Auto Director. Now, Speed. Earlier on, I said that these guys have been practicing hard, and we've already discussed the fact that they started 10 minutes later. They've put in hundreds of laps around here, and I know that some of the guys have even gone onto Raceroom and run on the leaderboard and so forth. Right the way across the board, these are quick timings, are they not?
Yeah, they're very quick. Obviously, a 1 minute 14 round here is quick. As you can see, the top 5 are in 14s. And then you've got a group of 15s is still very quick. Even a 16 is quick. Even a 17 is quick. So they're not hanging around. So I think the RWB group have pretty much locked out the top 10 positions on this time trial this week.
Yeah.
Because obviously people think that time trial will be, going to be the quickest, but it generally, I found it to be anything from half a second to a second slower than actually being in the race, qualifying trim. So it's a good feeler for race pace, is the time trial leaderboards.
Yeah. This guy, Pinto, Thomas Pinto, who's now an RWB member, and welcome, Thomas. We're better. We're a better group with you in it because you're a talented racer, and everyone absolutely loves racing with you. As I know, who else has just recently joined us? It's Jeb, isn't it? We're going to call him Ben.
Yeah, his teammate.
Yeah, and that's his teammate, CMM, which is fantastic. Now, yeah, when we come up to the start, would you mind taking us around, and then perhaps afterwards I'll just tell the folks a little bit about the track that we're on, and then we can just quickly go through some of the guys that are racing tonight.
I can do that.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, I'm really glad to see that Pinto's joined us. I know he's with Cookie Motorsport, and absolutely, of course, you know, we've got no problem in being with both. Anyway, I'll hand over to you, Speed. Over to you, bud.
Yeah, so going down the straight here into the first corner, I tend to take a straight line, go from that bit of green stuff to this curve, exactly the same as Pinto. Slowly drift out here, braking point down to third gear usually for me. Same for Pinto, third, fourth, fifth, sixth out of there. This is a crucial one. He'll be into seventh gear now, and then he'll down, 4 gears down to third gear for that corner. It's a very tricky one. I tend to, sacrifice the left-hander to get right-hander into that hairpin, second gear hairpin. Then you just pushing the gears up to seventh gear just before you hit the apex down to possibly 3 gears if you're brave enough. Looks like he's scrapped this lap. He's not really slide into this one. This is a tricky one. It's all downhill, and then obviously flattens out as you get to the bottom. Into this chicane, really tricky one. You can ride that curve on the right, so you get a better exit through that left one. Stay away from them sleeping policemen, as we found out at Monza today, if you've not watched it. Down into the last double left-hander, really tricky. I go down to second, third gear, leave it in third, and then just rely on the traction control in this car to just hold it online, and that's a lap of Imola.
Great, thank you, Speed, and well on, Thomas. That was, although you scrapped it halfway around, that was a nice clean lap for us to use and give everyone some orientation on it, like a nerd in a library, Thomas, Pinto. So that's Pinto, not Pinto. Oh, crikey, holy moly, just held it together. Now, let's remind ourselves, ladies and gents, damage is on. They've got to have a pit stop. They're going to have a minimum of 4 tyres. Minimum of 4 tyres. That damage is on. Now, talk to us about fuel strategy, Speed. I know you've played around I know you've looked at how many laps they can go without changing fuel, etc. What do you expect the sort of top lads roughly around their strategies to be? We're looking at Rodders right now. What do you think his strategy might be?
I think everyone's going to be running the mediums and the softs tonight, if they do anything. I think the hards are just too far off the pace. You may get a ringer, a cause right at the back, may just stick, 100 litres of fuel in and, hard tyres and go for a long stint. But I think the main thing is it's going to be anything from, 20 to 30 laps on the medium, depending on what you plan on doing for the last stint. So obviously if you do, I would say 25 laps, 2 stints of 25 on the medium, that leaves you a 10 lap sprint at the end to do. Just obviously fueling for that exact amount, which I think is roughly about, I want to say 65 litres of fuel.
Right.
Per stint. So obviously you'll come in, pit, put a set of mediums on, just 65 litres of fuel, go out the 25 laps, come back in, and then on the last stint, you're possibly just going to need, a couple of litres of fuel, possibly, 10-15 litres of fuel, stick a set of softs on, and then just go for it for them, them last 14 laps-ish.
Yeah.
Or the other option is fuel, something around about 80 litres of fuel in, and then do 30 laps, 32, 33 laps on a stint.
Yeah.
Tyres are going to be down towards the 15% at the end of that, but you're only doing 1 stop then.
Yes.
So it's how big the drop off is, towards the end of that tyre stint. I did the stint of, I think, 29, 30 laps earlier, and I was still doing, low 115s. So I didn't quite hit the drop-off range of the tyres, and that was with 34%, I think, left on the rear tyres.
So, with that in mind, it's going to be interesting to see what those strategies are, whether they go with ones or, and likewise with the tyres as well, as you say. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Shout out to the Cheap Seats, those guys in YouTube. Steve Longley. I can't remember who Steve Longley is, to be honest with you.
TK.
But who is it?
TK421.
Of course it is. Yeah, TK. Yeah. Well, shout out to
every
TK.
week.
I know. Do you know, I haven't got a screen spare, to be honest with you. What's name there? TK, good to see you on YouTube.
Is that
stay
a
with
screen
us.
spare or a brain cell spare?
I haven't got a brain cell spare. I haven't got a screen spare. I haven't got anything. Now listen, we've got 3 minutes left of qualifying, so let's just have a quick reminder of where we are, Speed. Okay, so got my track info up now, some little bit of research I've done earlier on. So here we are, we're at Imola. It's actually known as the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. North central Italy, just on the outskirts of Imola actually. It is actually in the city of Imola, but it's on the sort of outer edges of Imola. But it is very firmly in the city confines. GP circuit, this 3.5 miles, 3.05 miles, 4.9 kilometres, 19 corners. That's corners of big bends. 9 left, 10 right, 1 chicane, 3 extended chicanes, which is quite unusual on the sort of calendar mapping of events. 1 hairpin, 1 double 90 left, and 8 named corners, and we'll mention those corners as we go around. So this track pretty much since 1970, and it was built before then, as we'll find out, but since 1970 it's been known as the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, after Enzo Ferrari's son, who sadly died in 1956 of leukemia near Imola, in the hospital near Imola in Italy. This particular track since then has hosted Formula 1, FIA trucks, truck racing, banger racing, 6-hour Imola, Le Mans Cup, blank pack, you name it. This is one of the big circuits on the calendar of any form of international or Italian national event. And it's actually built in an area that's long associated with speed in general. Imola has architectural digs around the area that have proof of the area being gladiatorial games area, chariot racing, going way back to 80 BC. So it is a place of speed. There's no question about that. So there you go. Imola, Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, North Central Italy, pretty much in the city of Imola. Very well known. And you know what? If you only just jump in a sim, or have only ever jumped in race sim once, or played anything from pole position through to now, I'm willing to bet you have gone around Imola.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard track on most sims nowadays. It's
quite right too.
It's one of my top 3 tracks. I love it, and that's why I've done so many laps this week in helping the guys. Not just to help the guys, but because I love it. And I love it in cars with downforce.
Yeah. Now let's remind ourselves of the running order at the minute. Now in first place is Rigel with 92 points. This is after 2 events. The first event being at Red Bull Ring, the second event being at Paul Ricard. Rigel came second in Red Bull, and he came first in Paul Ricard. So he's on 92. Second place, Rodders. He came first in Red Bull and came second in Paul Ricard. He's on 90 points. Third place, Benjamin Rossignol, 81 points. He came third in both locations. Great consistency there. So we've got 4.5 minutes of warm-up. We will use this time now to just quickly, very, very quickly, zip through the field. So looking at Milan, we're looking at, let's have 10 seconds on each. Looking for great things from Milan tonight, Speed?
Yep. Been very impressive in the first round at Red Bull Ring, qualified on pole. Obviously messed up his race strategy and too much fuel in, and missed the second round. So looking for some good stuff from him.
Yeah, absolutely. C-Hacks, we've already mentioned about C-Hacks. He's done a lot of training, hasn't he? And we're looking for great things from him tonight.
Yeah, Siak's another person. Obviously, he missed the second race. Had a poor showing in the first race, but has shown up this week very well prepared. A lot of laps, a lot of fast laps, a lot of race pace runs.
Luca Gray, don't really want to see that, Luca. We don't want to see you reversing in the pit. Good grief. Luca Gray, RWB Squid Licker. We're looking for good things from Squid Licks tonight. Squid is a aggressive racer. There's no question about that. So we'll be keeping our eyes open. But he's quick. There's no question about it.
Youthful and I can't say the word.
Youthful exuberance,
Yeah. Young lad obviously needs to, tame it down a bit. The speed will come.
Thomas Pinto, we mentioned him earlier on. Again, looking for great things from Thomas. On to Rodders. Again, we mentioned about Rodders earlier on. We're looking for some great racing from Rodders tonight. Jammer Speed, talk to me about Jammer. What do you think?
Jammer, obviously, he was a very good sim racer. Obviously, bet me in a GT3 league. I paid another driver to bet me out. That's unconfirmed, but that's what I'm sticking to. And has been away for a while, sorting himself out, and obviously come back and is on strong form so far.
Mark Bean, the mad bus driver, straight out of Harry Potter, the madman driving the bus there. Mark has got much more consistent and much faster, most certainly, over the past, few months, really. So, again, looking for good things.
Yeah, Bean's strong, and obviously he's a bus driver. He's the fastest bus driver in London, so looking for good things from him tonight. Obviously, another person that practices a lot through the week. Grabs it an hour here, an hour there when he can.
Yeah.
So another strong performance.
2 minutes left of warm up. Still quite a few to go through. So what we'll do is we'll flick through them. And as we stop, if there's anything particular to mention about them, we'll just quickly stop and mention that. And I think that was Luca just going straight into the wall there. So Cos, the ever reliable Cos, keep your eye on him. He'll be on the grey stuff, I assure you. You won't be seeing him do any daft moves. Charger, the Tugotron. Tug of Smug.
We just had some bad news coming through. Rodder's headset switched off and he's out of the race.
No. Unbelievable. His headset switched off and he's out of the race.
Yep.
Holy cow. Let's move on. We've got 1 minute 18. H-Tune will be reliable. He'll stay on the grey stuff. FX, spoke to him beforehand, a little bit nervous about the race. There's 24 of them out there. That's a hard deal to stay out of trouble, particularly coming up to the first, T1, which is a chicane. David de Grief, saw him do well in Paul Ricard, didn't we, Speed?
Yep, did a solid driving Paul Ricard. Can't remember exactly where he came.
Neither can I. So did with Ross Garland. Al, good to see Al out there. I don't believe Al was in Paul Ricard, and if he was, then he just stayed out of trouble, and I can't remember how he done. Sean Wright from Canada, good to see Sean Wright with us again. Madley, watch out for him. I've no doubt that he'll, his teammate is Resident Evil. Enough said. RWB Ben, a new member, but again, watch out for him. Rigel, the chief track master. The game of smug, world of smug. You know what? He is smug because he can. That's why. Simple as that. Rodders, can't believe it. You're not out yet. That's what I say. Sort that headset out. Let's get you back in there. Pinto, we mentioned. Jammer, we mentioned. Dave Crew. What about Dave?
I'm expecting a nice steady race from Dave. He did that last week. Stayed out of trouble and came home in a good position. And the same at Paul Ricard, the same at Red Bull.
Yeah. We just saw Pinpoint there, and the last one I was going to flick on to, but we just ran out a bit of time there, and that is to Zach Etier. Zach Etier, Zaxar, he is our sponsor, Racing Sim Tools. Fantastic app. We'll talk more about that during the race. Shout out to him. Crikey, I hope Rodder sorts that headset out because he would not want to be not in this race. Now, to remind everybody, you can drop 3 of the 12 races, so he will probably just bite his tongue and just let this race go if indeed he.
Yeah, we've got 5 green lights, 5 red lights, so we're going to get going in any second now. Ooh, going to be a tense one. Obviously, we're a few bad starts in the middle of.
Oh, look at them, 3 and 4 abreast. Straight into the first corner, which is a Tamburello. Down now to the first extended chicane, or the second extended chicane, which is Villeneuve. Through Villeneuve, we're looking at Luca Gray, old Squidlips. And then, Squidlips goes off, but keeps it together, and a little bit of tyre rubbing there with Rigel into Tosa, up the hill towards the Piratelli. Riding with Rigel, following Squidlips, and right behind Rigel is Mark Bean. So I mean, there's a right old crew there, and in front of Luca Gray, Squid Flipper, I think it is Milan. So first position currently is with Timo. RWB Pinto is streaming ahead. Seahacks, we spoke about him earlier on. You can see now running with Seahacks. Oh, and he looks like he's just going to take him on the. Oh, crikey, holy moly. Keep it together now. This first lap is important, isn't it, to extend away speed, and especially these front runners, these faster ones.
Yeah, now Seahawks is going to have DRS on Pinto, and it looks like he doesn't need it. Obviously, he must be running a hell of a lot less downforce than what Pinto is. But it's quite fun to see that the top 4 have gone on soft tyres. Rigel's gone onto the mediums. So it's good to see what the strategy to start with is. I'd expected all the front row to be on the medium, so maybe they're going for the reverse of what my strategy I suggested earlier. So maybe they're doing the first stint on softs and then going on to mediums later on.
Oh, and Seahacks just gone off. Seahacks.
Huge. That was a huge moment for Seahacks.
From second down to 7th, back on the track now. He's got Madley behind him. He's got Mark Bean in front of him. That's a sandwich and a half between a bean and a sheep. You need to be careful with that sort of combination. But I noticed at Villeneuve speed, that Villeneuve chicane there, that extended chicane, that a lot of people are going off there. So they must be coming into the exit part maybe a little bit too fast. Is that the case, or is that just early grip on the tyres, or what?
I think it's just mainly clicking the curb on the inside. It really upsets the car, and if you click it wrong, it just sends your car up into the air.
Oh, as Bean looks on the outside of Seahacks, and yet Bean takes Seahacks going into Tamburello, now coming down into Villeneuve. So keep it together, Seahacks, for the love of God. Easy to messing up here. Seems that Luca Gray, that's Luca. Oh no, it wasn't Luca. Beg your pardon. But that Villeneuve chicane is catching people out, I think.
Yeah, it's just one of them. It's just running a bit hot, a bit. The blood's pumping. You've just, you're only, 3 laps into the race. Blood was pumping, and he's just got, caught himself out. As Milan's, what happened to Pinto? Pinto's dropped down to 3rd, so he must have gone off as well. And obviously, Mr. Steady Away Rigel here is just, put a set of mediums on and, just slowly getting into the race and experienced hands. And obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but right behind him is that guy there, Thomas Pinto, and we can see he's closing up. He's probably got DRS. Coming down into Tamburello, I mean, God, that was... Yeah, I mean, he's certainly much, much faster than Rigel down there. And I don't think that was down to DRS. Probably the amount of wing he's got on there. How much... Do you know the numbers? How much downforce you need around a track like this?
Well, on my setup, I was running 16 on the front, 15 on the rear. and I was just hitting. If I was in slipstream, no DRS, I was hitting 330 before the braking point, and without slipstream, I was hitting 325. And I know a lot of them was running a lot more aero than me. I don't know what Pinto, Milan, and Benjamin are running because they obviously not. They have those that information. I know quite a few of the others are running, anything up to 21 on the front. So it's quite a lot.
I think we've got some retirements. I'm hoping not. It looks like H-Tune has retired. Ross Garland has retired. Ricky Richard has retired. Sean Wright has retired. Dave Crew has retired. FX has retired. Something has clearly happened that we've missed while we're looking at that front group there. For what? 1, 2, 3, 6 of them to be retired so far?
Yeah, we must have missed something major going on there. Maybe someone that's was in the channel could have. Obviously, Rodders is with us now. Maybe he's heard something whilst he's been sat there, slowly killing people. Say anything wrong to him?
No, I haven't. I'm just back at the computer after simmering down.
That's a big shame, Rodders, about the audio side of things, but impossible to sim race without any audio.
No, it wasn't audio. I had no. So since the last Oculus update, I noticed a couple of times when I take the headset off and the game's running that I come back and it's just the Steam VR background with these yellow flashing dots in the middle, and the only way to fix it is to reset the Oculus driver. And I had to go for a PM warm-up, and I just hoped it didn't do it. Well, to be honest, it went out of my mind. It hasn't done it all night, and I came back and that was it. And I tried everything to get it to reset while the game was running, but it's just not possible. So.
Well, look, here's my philosophy on that, Rodders. It's called a thumbs mistake. And that comes from flying radio control helicopters. It's not a problem when you crash a helicopter because of your thumbs. Tough. Put your hand in your pocket and pay for the helicopter to be repaired and rebuild it. But when the helicopter all of a sudden goes into a mad bloody spin through no fault of your own, in other words, a problem that's not thumbs, that's bloody annoying. And for the Oculus to have done that, this is what I say to Oculus. Get a grip of your hardware and your software. It shouldn't happen. And I know that it happens out there with quite a few people, and I make no apologies for being terse about it. This race for you tonight was important, and you've got a lot of time in it, a lot of track time, and you don't want to be let down by hardware. There's nothing worse. If it's a thumbs mistake, tough.
The Rift came out, the Rift race, and they had the reissue, and they've updated it and cleared it up, but since the last update, I'm convinced it didn't do this before. So, just a bad update. Hope we get sometimes it can be a combination of the graphics drivers, but I haven't touched them in ages, so...
Such a shame, Rodders. Such a shame. I feel for you. I'm angry for you. I'm angry.
You're right, Tiger. When you make your own mistake, you're annoyed, but it's worse when it's your hardware. Basically, the way we treat it is I've just had a mechanical breakdown on the start line, so that's me. I'm trying to be pragmatic.
Now, Rodders, can you? Now, you're welcome to staying with us for the rest of the stream. I'm assuming you're watching it either on the stream or we've set you up with a race director or whatever.
I'm just watching. I'll watch and I'll try not to interfere. You guys are the professionals.
Oh, that's nice. A pro-am, I think. Now, have you got any idea why we've got 6 retirements so far? Was there a pile-up that we?
I don't know. I've only seen less than you of the race. I missed the start, so I don't know. I'm guessing it might have been in some sort of accident. I was out the voice channel, so I don't know what's happened. But that's a real shame because this is the biggest field we've managed so far. And this is going to be it's going to be a hard race to call because the different compounds, the tyres really do change and vary. This is a difficult track. So honestly, I think anything could happen in this race. I think anyone from, to be honest, in the top 10 could potentially win it tonight. You just never know.
And Rodders, can you share with us what your strategy was going to be?
So I was going. So I played it kind of first race mediums all the way, worked out great. So I thought in the last race I'd said I think the medium soft was optimal, but I thought I'm going to keep to the strategy that I know works, consistent experience every stint. But this time I decided actually to do mediums on my first stint, and then I was doing 2 stints on softs. That was my secret weapon. I actually considered a free stopper ball softs, and I calculated it was about 8 to 10 seconds slower, all else being even. So yeah, mediums, about 24 laps medium, and then I was planning 20 on softs for 2 stints.
Oh no, that's out of order, and I would expect Luca. Sorry, Rodders. I would expect Luca to do something about that. That was a very much a cut in there.
And he cut his nose off as well. I think he's getting a bit overexcited because he's doing well.
Luca, you need to calm down, sunshine. Let Tom go past.
I don't think he's going to.
Well, I think Tom will have him.
When we get steward inquiries put in, the fact if you have an incident that's your fault and you let the person pass, there's a very good chance that's going to be enough for you not to be penalised. But if you don't, it definitely makes a difference. So we'll see what CHAX says after the race.
Yeah, good point.
We do have a rule, and it's been criticised a wee bit, but I think overall I think it's the kind of the best solution is we only look into incidents that are reported. So we do. I mean, the fact is, incidents happen. I mean, 2 drivers can kind of sort it out, be pragmatic, have a chat, and they both learn from it. What's the point of penalising when they both learned? You know?
No, quite.
So yeah.
No, quite. And I think that's a sensible way to have the system. But you know, so you've got the extreme left where you know it can be amicable and a bit of obvious overt racecraft allowing for you know the person to pass or an apology in voice chat or whatever, and that's perfectly fine, as you say, and doesn't lead to anything. Or if necessary, you know, the full armory of a proper investigation and a proper incident report and proper petitioning, right?
Yeah. To be fair, what I've found from all the leagues we've ran is sometimes you know, drivers maybe need to kind of. We always speak to the drivers to kind of help them get their driving a bit fairer and fitting with our standards, but sometimes it's leagues are the only time we really get that in order, because it's the only time that we actually, you know, really look at incidents and give out penalties. And some people, unfortunately, the only way they learn has been penalised. So, you know, you don't want it to be the case, but it unfortunately is sometimes. Anyway, listen, you guys get back to commentary. I'll stop my woes. If you're okay, if it's okay, I'll stay in. I'll maybe say.
Absolutely. No, please do. Okay, back with the excitement now. So Milan currently in first place, second place RWB Pinto on new member 0.40 of a second. Mark Bean, we've missed, took Rigel. Rigel is now in fourth. Points to note: Mark Bean is on soft tyres. Rigel is on medium tyres, and you heard Speed earlier on. Speed, he's on medium tyres. Are you expecting to go longer then with regards to his strategy?
Yeah, I'm expecting Rigel to go, you know, probably more than 22 laps on this set of tyres. 22 laps will be a 2-stopper. If he goes up to 30 laps, he's doing the one stop, which I think is a possible advantage tonight. I know I've tried.
On mediums, he's in a really good position. I'm not really surprised he's further behind at this point, so I'd say Rigel is set up pretty well at the moment.
Now, Squid Lips has just taken Rigel there, and I could almost feel the warmth of smugness come from that cockpit, because Rigel will know that in about, round about between now and 11, and he's, Rigel very clearly let CHAX go there, and the reason why he done that, because he probably knows, because of their pace, that they're on soft tyres and he's on medium, and those tyres are going to start to go off. When would you expect them to go off, Speed?
I don't actually know offhand, but I expect anything from about 15 onwards.
Before, earlier than that. They get. I'd say that the fuel levels were equal, and they won't, because Rigel will be carrying more.
Yeah.
Start to come. The softs after about 8 to 10 laps are really starting to lose it, and after 15 they're just terrible, really bad. So.
Well, we're on lap 11 now, coming across lap 12, and these two both on the same both on the same tyre, soft tyres. But CHAX is most certainly definitely quicker than Luca Gray. Earlier on, Luca Squid Flipper he actually had quite a bit of a gap there, 1.4 seconds. Seahacks has closed that up again. So I'm expecting these two to mix it up again, and probably for Seahacks to pass Luca. But, you know, fair play to Luca. You know, he's not giving it in. But look, as we say that, you know, Seahacks is... Jesus Christ. I mean, he's really bringing it. Oh, come on. Same place again. You know, that's not on. That's genuinely not on.
Yeah, he's letting him go.
There you go. Fair play.
Yeah, Seahawks has had a bit of a disaster start. Obviously, he qualified, I think. Was he on pole? Yes, he was. Qualified on pole and obviously just got a bad start. I know, obviously got dropped into the pack. And, yeah, just affected him. You know, a bit of frustration probably creeped in, you know, and, you know, just trying to overdrive the car, trying to catch up.
And looks like Milan and Pinto have swapped places. No, beg your pardon. Milan was challenging there, coming out of the Rivazza, but Milan, you know, on soft tyres. Pinto is on soft tyres. Mark Bean is on soft tyres. Seahacks is on soft tyres. Luca is on soft tyres. But this man is just full of, where is he? Full of smugness in the mediums, because he is going to have, what, an additional 10 laps perhaps on these guys on soft speed?
Looking at his lap times, I expect he's got quite a heavy fuel load on. So maybe he's going for that one-stop strategy that I suggested.
Yeah.
One stop.
So,
one stop. Yeah.
I'd be surprised, but we'll wait and see. I definitely think he's made the right move. And there's a lot of, I guess most of the fields in softs, aren't they? So apart from Coys and Hards, so you're going to have a lot of them pitting, but there's still a good chance of getting stuck in traffic. Not as much, to be honest. So it might work the quick soft and then pit this time around. I think was it last race that Thomas took softs, but he just came into traffic because almost everyone else was in mediums.
Yep. Pinpoint currently in 7th place. Pinpoint also running softs and gaining on Rigel. Zach Etier, our sponsor from Racing Sim Tools. Zach is doing well in 8th place. 9th place, Madley, 1.3 seconds behind him. Madley is also on mediums. Zach was on mediums. Back onto the softs with RWB. I'm going to call him Ben because Nimajeb just does not sound. You should be locked up for a name called Nimajeb. So RWB Ben. Ben doing well in 10th place. Jammer. That's pretty much what you said, Speed. I expected we'd be in the middle pack, right?
Yep. Obviously, Jammer's come back and he's relearning again. He's our commentary partner's teammate, Rodder's teammate this league, so he's getting a little bit of help from Rodder's on the setup side, and obviously probably some driving tips, strategy tips. So
and he's running medium.
Yeah, I expect Jammer to be near the front towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Now, Rodders, can you share with us what his strategy is? Do you know that? Do you share that as a team, or do you very much go individually?
This time around, we both went for the same strategy. So I expect Jammer to be going 2 stints in softs.
Right.
I'm not sure if he's pitting lap 24. He's doing his own fuel strategy, but he should be round about there. I think he'll get 24, maybe 28. The only problem is the mediums will get 28, but it's carrying that extra fuel at the start. It's hard to work out the optimal fuel load. Like the mediums will go further, and you're quicker when your fuel loads are low and the tyres worn. But you then get the disadvantage of you're always losing time and more fuel. So it's hard to call.
We're just in Ben there. Take Madley. Them two swap places. So Madley's just given 9th to Ben, but Madley is running in 10th place at the minute, and still, you know, hot on the heels to get that position back. I know he won't be giving in for nothing. There's no doubt about that. Jammer down in 10th, as we said. Flack in 11th. Sorry, Flack currently in 12th place. That's a good place for him to be. Again, he's on soft, so I'm interested to see what his strategy is. His last lap actually was a 1:18.6. That's a good, fast, you know, above average lap. 1:18 around here, 1:18.6. To put that into context, The fastest lap round here so far has been a 1:15.052 by Seahacks. That's on race trim. So I mean that is going some. There's no question there. Al Gartner in 13th place. Good to see him out there. David de Grief, who, as we mentioned earlier on, had a great session in Paul Ricard. Cos on the grey stuff, in hard tyres, so clearly he's going for the long run, one stop, no question. And Ashley Keane on mediums, currently the last runner of 16 of what started, which was 24. So unbelievably, we've got. And Charger has retired. FX has retired. Dave Crew has retired. Sean Wright has retired. Ricky Richard has retired. Ross Garland has retired, and H-Tune has retired. Quite extraordinary, but this is a demanding track. Damage is on, and of course there was a bit of a problem at the beginning there. So
just quickly, Tiger from the chat. FX had an incident, lost a wheel. Sean Wright spun on the line, and Night Flight said he lost his engine at the start. I don't know, probably some sort of accident. So that's what I've got so far.
Well, thank you for that. I suppose that, when we saw there was 24 runners tonight around here, we thought, crikey, one, qualifying timings are going to be a challenge to get some space around there, and secondly, just get round the first lap without any damage anybody, and hopefully, we'll have 24 finishers. Watching Milan at the minute in first place, 2.01 seconds behind him, Pinto. Good luck, Pinto. Mix it up with Milan for us, but be careful because right behind you is this man, Mark Bean. Fantastic to see him in third place, Speed.
Yeah, he's doing an excellent race. Obviously, he's closing down on Pinto and Milan, so he's doing an excellent race. Obviously, as the fuel load's coming off, the weight of the car's going out quicker than the tyres are degging for him. So he's having a cracking race and possibly well in for winning this.
He's going to get DRS, isn't he? He's going to get DRS along it.
Also, Seahacks has caught behind as well.
Mark Bean has taken him in second place. Mark Bean is up into second place. Fantastic. Mr. Bean has moved out of the Mini and into an F1 car. Bloody marvellous. Keep it on the grey stuff, Mark. Well done. You're up in a second place. Be careful though. Pinto is super quick around here. Well, they're all bloody super quick. And as I say that, look, commentators bloody curse, punch me in the face and take me away.
I think Bean's also got DRS again. I think it was. I'm a little bit behind you. Stream. Yeah.
Seahacks now exploits the opportunity to take Pinto after Pinto and Bean mixed it up there coming into Villeneuve, and Seahacks is now into second place. 4 seconds to go to Milan. You need to extend away from the danger that is Pinto and Bean as Bean looks at Pinto. Let's go on to Bean. Bean was looking at Pinto. He's only 0.23 seconds behind him then, Speed.
Yeah, I'm also going back on Seattle. I think Seattle's got the DRS off of Bean, so if he's managed to save one use, he'll use it coming out of this last corner and hopefully get it further enough away from Pinto, which hasn't got it. Yeah, so
there we go.
Get it.
Slow down for the ride as well. That could be a painful one. Can't see the front severe so far away.
There we go. So we see the leader there, Milan, coming through Villeneuve, and 4 seconds behind him, Seahacks in second place. Third place, Pinto, 2 seconds behind him. Right behind Pinto, this man, Mark Bean, in the blue and white F1, closing up, 0.51, 52, 43, 42, 45. So, I mean, pretty much averaging around, half a second as they go around the Tosa corner and up the hill towards the Piratella. Did I see DRS then? No, surely not. It must be my eyes, that's my age.
Oh, I'm quite surprised these soft tyres are lasting. Obviously, we're on 19 now.
19?
So,
yeah, so I was going for 20 laps on them, so maybe others are doing the same.
Mark is, I really thought he was going to take him then. In fact, he did show up as taking Pinto, but obviously gave way coming into the Variante Alta, the Alta chicane.
Yeah, the access closing near enough a second on this lap by the looks of it.
Yep.
I'm just going to go and mute. Guys, you want a cup of tea?
Oh, please, yeah.
Love
Would you have a word with the cleaner? Because we tried that last week, but this place is in shit state.
Shocking. Right, bang 5.
Roger.
Yes,
So,
obviously.
third place, Pinto. Luca, Squid Lips, down there he is, down there in fifth. Good to see him. Rigel in fifth, in sixth place. Behind Rigel, 11 seconds. He's got plenty of time to breathe, pinpoint. These two mixing it up, Jammer and Madley. Jammer, Rodders' partner for RWB Buckfast Racing. Buckfast. Have you ever had Buckfast before, Speed?
No, I don't think so.
You haven't lived, son. You haven't lived. You need to pour that in your eyeball and see if you remember what the next day looks like. Probably not. But these two are mixing up, Jammer and Madley. So we'll keep an eye on the time there. The time is now sort of spreading out, isn't it? Notwithstanding this man, Seahax, who's closed up another second. So he's now 2 seconds away from 2.2 seconds. Just not enough to get DRS as we see Milan zipping and Thomas.
Pits and more pits. Beans is going for another one. Pinto's coming in behind him. Is Luca coming in? No, Luca's going past. So
Rigel has gone past.
Yeah, I was just about to say, obviously, with the tyre wear, and that got to a point, Rigel was slowly getting to this, similar lap times to what the guys were doing on softs. So he was getting to that switching point where he was going to favour the medium runners. But it looks like Beans is just, toughing it out there. Did a 15.6 on the last lap, with a 15.2 being his fastest. But Pinner's disqualified for speeding in the pits.
No.
As well, it's out. So.
Good grief! So we've lost 44% of the whole grid so far. We're down to 14 runners from 24, which is extraordinary.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Obviously, Milan, Seahax and Pinto have all come out behind Xerax, Zach. So Zach's still on his medium run. He's probably going to go, maybe another 5-6 laps into this race.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, another 5 or 6. Mark Bean out in first, 4.5 seconds behind him. Luca Gray in second place. Neither of these two have pitted yet, and they're both still on the soft tyres. And in the background there, you can see Rigel, who also has not pitted yet, but on the medium. So he can go a bit longer. He's probably going to go for a longer pit stop strategy, as we said earlier on. Probably that one stopper, where the others perhaps on 2. But talking of which, Jammer is now on mediums. He's not pitted. Oh, no, sorry. He is on mediums. He's not pitted. Madley on mediums, not pitted. Milan, is now on softs. He's now on softs. So he's probably going to pit again. So he's on a 2-stop strategy. No question about that. There's no way he could last the rest of the race. 52 minutes on soft tyres. There's no way.
Now he may be doing, obviously, like you said, 2 stops on softs. Soft.
Yeah. Zach, he hasn't pitted yet, but he's on medium. Good result for him. 7th. Seahax, who has pitted again. Look, he's on soft, so we know he will be pitting again soon and exploiting the extra grip that he's got with those fresh tyres. Right in front of him, Zach on the wing with Zach, looking back at Seahax, and just got so much more grip coming through the coming downhill.
Zach just let him pass. Obviously, He's not racing. He's not in his battle, is he?
And Zach knows that Seahax is, supremely fast around here. Rigel's in the pits, and you've got to pick your battles. Yes, it only takes 2 cars to race, but if someone is behind you, is supremely quicker than you, then why make it difficult for them? Now, the onus is on them to pass you safely. But if you are in a commanding position that you want to secure, and let me tell you, Zach Etier right now in 6th place, will want to keep that. He will not want to compromise that with a battle with somebody who's much quicker than him. So that was a wise strategy from him to allow Seahax to pass.
Zach's doing excellent this race.
Really, really excellent. Yeah. A reminder: Raceroom Tools. Raceroom Tools. He's our sponsor. Talk to us about Raceroom Tools.
Well, first of all, I said I think Zach's got an excellent coach at the minute. He's a fine person to teach people.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I was just going to say Zach's obviously learned how to work his tuning tool finally.
The last version was rubbish. Now it's fantastic because we've helped him. No, seriously, it's a great tool, but I've only got an IQ of 3, and I think you need an IQ of 5 to work it. But he's very helpful, isn't he, to anyone who wants to know the ins and outs. I know Rigel spent a great deal of time over it. I know over the past week, a lot of people have spent, a lot of hours digging into racing tools and refining the setups of their cars and enjoying the fruits of that labour. No question. So, but Zach has not pitted yet and is on mediums. Mark Bean has pitted now. We saw him in first just not so long ago, but Mark Bean has pitted. He's now on the soft, so again, he's on a 2-stop strategy. John Rigel, who has pitted, is back on the mediums. I'm willing to bet, Speed, that he will not pit again.
I think he will.
Do you think so?
Rigel pitted already?
Yeah,
Rigel's pitted, but he's back out on mediums. 49 minutes. He's done 24 laps. There's 48 laps. I reckon this is what did we say earlier on? A 62, 63 lap race? 64 lap?
Yeah. 60. I reckon anything from 62 to 64 laps, depending on the race pace.
I think we're going to do extreme out and softs that one. We'll be losing the massive time.
Well, obviously, it's filled his car up quite a lot, to be honest.
Oh, and Thomas just goes off coming into Tamburello as he was just looking at challenging Rigel. Just as I flicked the camera onto the TV, straight into the. At what speed was he doing around?
He would have been up close to near 200 mile an hour. It must have been that quick.
200 miles an hour. The car was totaled. That's Thomas Pinto. RWB Pinto out of the race.
Yeah, I think it was one of them quick, darts they did with the RS Open. And obviously, it just spun him straight off across into the barrier. That's the weekend, a bit late, but that's the only way I could suggest you crashing like that at that speed.
I've been warning repeatedly, be very careful overtaking the DRS, because all it takes is somebody to do a legal defensive move and you try to counter it and you're done. You should always switch it off when you get up to the legal in that time, unless it's like a really obvious, clear, easy overtake.
Cameras in the pits.
Now, Luca Gray currently in first place, but not pitted yet. So, with all respect, he's got a 27-second lead over Milan. How long do you need to go into the pits, change with your tyres, and then back out again?
You think how long? 45 seconds on this
45
track?
Seconds, yeah, 40 seconds.
It's quite a long pit lane, this one. So, even though the pits, the stop is actually quite short, it is actually quite a long pit. So maybe not quite 40 seconds, maybe 30, something like that, 35.
So Milan currently wrong. It's just been taken by Seahacks. Seahacks just taken Milan there, coming into the the outer chicane, coming down the hill towards Rivazzo. Just took second place out from Milan there. Milan 0.14, 11, 10. Looking at the outside, but no, Seahacks keeps it going through the Rivazzo onto the straight. But Milan undoubtedly. Let's have a look now. Milan will have. Oh, crikey. Yeah, Milan has got DRS. Milan has got DRS. It is now challenging Seahacks. Takes him on the outside, straight into Villeneuve. Crikey. Into the Tamburello, rather. But Seahacks is coming back again. But we just see Milan flick the DRS back down as it's just going wide into the Tosa corner. And Seahacks is sticking to him like he's smothered in araldite and rifle glue. Of course, none of you would know what rifle
Yeah.
glue is, but
I think Lucas, like Rod has said, done a mistake here. He's doing 118s at the minute, which for soft. If he wanted to go long, I would have suggested being on the mediums, and it would have given you them the grip later on.
Jammer switch to softs. Drivers probably two medium, one soft. See if the Jammer can catch up.
And you know what? Words right out of my mouth, and that's what I thought. You know, someone like Rigel on the next one will probably go on softs and then go balls out and hope that his mediums gives him those extra laps above those who are currently on softs who are going to pit before him. It'd be interesting to see whether he does that, as he did to you, didn't he, at Paul Ricard?
Yeah, I wasn't going to let that happen again, hence my strategy.
No, quite. Great, Luca Gray out in first place. Luca has just done a last lap of a 1:16.775, a fast lap of a best lap 1:15.385. So I mean, he's on it, you know, but he's still 24 seconds. He hasn't pulled away from Milan. Milan 1:15.5 and a 1:15.4 in the last lap, his best lap. Milan currently in second, who has pitted, and right behind him under pressure from Seahax, who has again been pitted. Both of these guys on softs.
So. Luca looks like he's going for a one-stop on softs. I mean,
he hasn't pitted yet, has he? Which, and you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, that Milan has not closed up on Milan and Seahax. That, you know, these two here have not closed up on Luca. So it'd be interesting to see whether Milan was holding Seahax up.
Well, I think what you'll find is, so Luca's got light fuel. They've got the opposite just now. So you might fight. I think keeping even at the moment is probably means Luca's losing time, to be honest. But I would expect his tyres to just be off a cliff, man.
Well, you know, I've got to be honest with you. Luca over the past 3 laps has kept, his time has stayed 1:24 to 1:25. Not 1:24, 1:25. 24 to 25 seconds. And as I say that, it's just dropped to 22. But let's see what's going on there.
Yeah, he got a wee cut. It's going to be a wee mistake drifting in. The tyres will be short. Plus, as I said, the fact he's got a light fuel load, he should be going quicker than the other guys. So if he's not, then he's losing. Effectively, he's losing time.
I think he's going to come into the pits now. Surely. No, he's going again.
I reckon he's going for the one stop. So that's
one stop on softs.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to him, because you know he's got 20 seconds in front of Seahax, and if he is doing a one-stop strategy, then Luca Gray will benefit from that, because Seahax has got another stop to do afterwards as well. So Luca will benefit from that, but. Luca is currently keeping. All of a sudden, I've started calling him Luca for some reason. Squid Flipper is, currently 22, 23 seconds in front of Seahax.
Right, he needs to do 32 laps. It's a 64 lap race, so he's definitely on a one stop.
Definitely.
If he was on hards, I maybe think he's going to do 2 stints in softs, but he's not. So.
I think you're right. I think he's going to do a one-stopper and come in on lap 32.
But the current timings, it's hard to tell, because he's going to lose. He'll probably be about 10-15 seconds behind when he can Seahax after his pit stop. But if Seahax doesn't pull a gap that big, then Luca's going to be miles ahead after the pit.
Well, he's definitely losing time, because Seahax is now 16 seconds. So Luca's tight, and there we go. He's in. So he's in on lap 30. Now, what will he come out with? If he comes out on soft, we know he can go 30 laps on softs, but you're going to need box in the box, Squid.
He's going to have to do at least 31. I reckon. If you look at the time, he'd be doing at least another lap in that time, maybe onto a 30-second. So he's going to have to do probably 31 to 32 laps.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I reckon he should be. He needs to come out on mediums.
And another retirement. We had another retirement. Ashley Keane, he retired.
Wow, Imola is punishing everyone.
It's an unforgiving track when you get it wrong.
Yeah.
as we saw from the practice sessions.
Luca Gray comes out in 5th place on softs. A very interesting strategy because we saw how very quickly his time differential was being eaten away in those last couple of laps by Seahacks, from 24 seconds down to 16 seconds, approaching what was 30 laps on soft tyres. So it'd be interesting to see what Luca's strategy is with these current set, because if he's just doing a one-stopper, he's going to have to do another 34 laps on these tyres, and I'm not sure whether he'll be able to stay on the grey stuff for that sort of duration. But never say never with this fella, is what I've learned.
So he's 16, 20, he's about 22 seconds behind the lead currently.
He's only 2 seconds behind Rigel. We know Rigel's got to stop again. He's on the 2-stop strategy. So, yeah, if it works out, kudos to him. He's pulled the blinder, being on the softs.
But he must have had a lot of fuel.
Yeah, he's had to put, at least,
Man,
at least 80 litres.
If Luca wins this, it's going to get people thinking. Well, you've been saying 2 and 3 stops. I never thought going down to 1. I thought that would be suicide with the amount of fuel you'd have to carry.
I didn't think the soft tyres were going to last as near as good as they do.
Well, hats off, Squid. Keep it on the grey stuff. We're so interested to see how you do in this race. Holy moly. Let's have a run down through the field. Okay, come on. Seahacks is out there in front. His last lap, 1:15.7. Best lap, 1:14.9, which is the fastest lap out there, is owned by this man. Seahacks in first place. 2.17 seconds behind him. We've got, you can just see there, you've got Mark Bean. Fantastic to see Mark up there in second place. Both have pitted. Both have got softs on. And Mark's last lap was a 1:15.6. Best lap, 1:15.1. Third place, Milan. Milan 6 seconds behind Mark Bean. Supremely quick, this fella. And he's just passed the back marker there, which I think you'll find will be David. Not David, sorry. That will be Al, I think. Zach. John Haig, Rigel, smuggest man on Planet Smug in Universe of Smug, but has played the safe game with mediums, and I think he's probably on a one-stop strategy, as we mentioned earlier on. John is doing a 1:16.9 last lap, fastest 1:15.8, so he's on 4th place, medium tyres, and he has pitted. Luca, we've mentioned. Jammer is on softs, pitted, and he's just done a 1:16.06. Madley has again done run a safe race so far. Madley's last lap was a 1:17.7, and his fastest was a 1:16.3. So with the top quadrant, he's off pace, but he's running a safe race. He's staying on the grey stuff, and he's on medium tyres, and he's pitted once. So fair assessment that he'll either pit one more time or push those medium tyres, which will certainly, I would have thought, speed be much more stable towards the end of the race rather than softs.
Yeah, I didn't expect the softs to last this long, to be honest. Lucas proved us wrong. I did 30 odd laps on the soft, and quite a reasonable pace as well. So hopefully, obviously he's another one that's done a lot of practice as well, so kudos to him. Get that on it quiet.
On it like a sheep in a shearing competition. Well done, Madley. 7th position. RWB Ben, 12 seconds behind Madley. Ben, you're currently running 8th place. You've got plenty of air to breathe. You've got 12 seconds to catch up to Madley. You got 6 seconds clear behind you. And your last lap was a 1:16.1. So well done to you. Keep it on the grey stuff. Looking at the timings very closely, fellas, so fear not. If there's any close battles out there, we'll flick to them straight away. But let's carry on through the field. Flack 9, the ever-talented Flack, out there in 9th position. I know he'll be absolutely over the OTM Oh, no, please tell me that Cos is not retired. Cos has retired. Cos has retired. Unbelievable. We're now down to 12 runners. Back to Flack. Flack.
Sorry, Tiger. Charger, not beating Charger. His game crashed again. He's been having loads of game crash issues. So.
A Charger as well. So we are now down to 50% runners, ladies and gents. We are now down to 50%. 12 runners from 24 starters. Flack 9. Flack in 9th place. Good for him. Zach Etier, our sponsor from Racing Sim Tools. He's in 10th place right now. His last lap was invalid, but his quickest has been 1:16.3. He's also pitted. Everyone has pitted now. Al Gartner doing well out there. He's in 11th place. Last place, but not, because 50% has retired. But in 12th position, David de Grief. Nice and reliable there. Middle of the field. His last lap was a 1:18. His quickest was a 1:18. So, I mean, he's off the pace for the top sort of quadrants. Back to first place. 2 seconds behind this man, C-Hacks, is Mark Bean. Now, I'm willing to bet, if I look on the back of Madley, if I look on the back of Flack, there is C-Hacks. Hopefully Flack will move over, gives the blue flag. There he goes, just moves over now, coming down towards the Piratella. Where am I? Yeah, Piratella. Wow. 50% runners.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Al. He's a oldest member.
He is in his 60s.
What's he from? It's not Swiss. It's European
French.
country. Is it French? Is it? I always think it's Sweden.
Well, bonjour, Al, and you're doing a fantastic job. And amongst our senior members of RWB, and it's all very. They say the Chinese are the most respectful for their elders, but I beg to differ. You know, RWB International fully support their senior members. Charger, Cos, Al Gartner, and a couple of others there. All over their 60s, and look, mixing it up. So, fair play.
And Al, bless him, he is a caring guy, a very smart guy. There was a few incidents put in about him after a race once, and all he said was, "If you think I'm kind of not, capable of doing the driving," he words it. The way Al writes is fantastic. I'm not even going to try and do it credit. He more or less said, if I'm getting a bit too much of a liability in track, you just need to, let me know and I'll stop. And I was like, no way, Al. He says, I'll speak to you, we'll sort any wee issues, we'll talk about it, find a way around them. You're not going anywhere.
Top man. Well, this has been an interesting race, Speed, so far. 32 minutes left. Remind us, please, when does the pit window close?
In about 12 minutes' time, it will close, and that's it. Well, it's not it. You can pit again, but as long as you're doing your mandatory pit within that window, you're good, which everyone has done. So we're not worrying about it at all.
I'll make a prediction, and I reckon Luca's going to be not going to pit again. He'll be ahead after the pit stops, but his tyres are going to just be a nightmare in the last few laps, and he'll lose it.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think Luca Gray's strategy is to go one stop, and for them second stint, for him to almost do 34 laps on soft tyres. Now, if I be truthful, I think actually when he was on that first stint there, he started to realise that those tyres were just not reliable anymore at lap, 30. What was it? 30 when he came, 31 when he came in. So, and I'm willing to bet that he's worried. A case of him worrying about it later. I worry about what the tyres are like towards the end of the race.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was he's about 30 seconds for a pit stop. I think the overall time you lose, let's say 30-35, and he was he about just under 20 seconds ahead when he pitted, which means
20. Yeah, it's 17 seconds. He was 17 seconds ahead.
He probably lost 10 to 15 seconds. On that one stint. Assume he does it in the next one. A pit stop takes 30 seconds. That's exact even. So yeah, but I just think I think his tyres, he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Tyres at the end.
Yeah. Let's hope he doesn't. We don't wish any misfortune on anyone out there. But is it not?
My heart's in my mouth.
No, absolutely. But is it not, Rodders? Is it not? You know, in short terms, is it not a hell of a feat to pull off? If he is on a one-stop strategy to do 34, 30, possibly 35 laps on soft tyres, when we know that by the time you get to lap 30, those soft tyres are just shredded.
Yep, I mean, I think, Speed, correct me if I'm wrong, but Imola is generally a lower tyre wear track, so if you're going to try it as one of the tracks, you can do. I think also like Bathurst is a track where you can really, you can run your tyres longer because you gain, you're at most of your time through the straight line. When we drove had that GT3 F17 race there. So yeah, it's a track to try. I'm still not convinced it's optimal, but I guess the maths are saying it's so close, and it's worth a try.
I know it was feasible on the mediums. So obviously that's what I did when I was in that practice session. Just before the race started, I did a 29 lap run on mediums, and obviously I could have gone a bit longer, but I just didn't have enough fuel. So I know it was possible on mediums.
Yeah.
But softs. Plus, he came in before the halfway mark anyway, so he's going to have to do extra lap and put extra fuel in.
Doing 20 laps in softs felt like a pain. As soon as they dropped under 50%, then the grip loss was huge. So I never really practiced it, and at the end of the day, if you can handle the change in the tyres and you adapt your braking points and everything at the right time, I guess you can do it, but it's not easy.
I say he came out behind Rigel, and he's still behind. He's dropping back from behind Rigel. He's dropping down quite a bit. So
something's happened at the front, fellas. Oh no! C-Hax is now in for the pit stop, as we correctly predicted. Two-stop strategy for C-Hax, which has allowed Mark Bean through in first place, Milan in second place. These two are both on softs. Likely that they'll pit as well, because nobody would be mad enough to do this whole race on one pit stop strategy and soft tyres either side of that, except probably, as we think, Luca Gray. So Mark Bean currently leading in first place. Milan 11 seconds behind him, 12 seconds behind him, John Haig. So that's 23 seconds. Then Jammer, that's 28 seconds. He's 7 seconds behind. And then Luca Gray. So in theory, Luca, if he is on a one-stop strategy with soft tyres either side of that, in theory, if Luca stays in his current position and the rest are all going to pit again, he in theory could slip into first place.
Yeah, but he's had a really bad lap.
119.
Behind. Well, he dropped behind. He was only 2 seconds behind Rigel. And now he's behind Jammer, Jammer's 7 seconds behind Rigel. So obviously he's had a slight excursion somewhere. So, but like you say, Siak's pitted now. So as long as he keeps Siak behind him, if he's not pitting again, it's a.
Siak is too close. He needs a bigger gap than that.
Now Siak is on fresh soft tyres. He's 4 seconds away from Luca Gray. We'll keep a close eye on that, because he will. He's on fresh rubber. He's on his last stint of fuel. I don't think he'll pit again.
Both of them need to be in the same fuel, because it's to the end of the race. So Siak has a big advantage.
Big advantage. Fresh tyres, and he's ready to go to the rest now. Whereas Luca Gray, as you said, Speed, obviously had a bit of an issue on one of those there. Luca will be every single lap. Old Squid there will be fighting to keep the car on the track, let alone zip up into. But you know what? Never say never. And if he does, well, fair play. But if he doesn't, then what sort of strategy was 30 odd laps on soft tyres? I mean, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. He's either genius or insane.
you know, for the practice put in, Seahawks deserves this one. And I think he had a shaky opening, great start, but since then you just see the way he gets his head down, because he's done. I mean, he was picked because he missed last week, so he was practicing for 2 weeks. And good on him, you know. So he probably deserves it. Then. It's looking likely.
Rigel on mediums on the second place, 23 seconds behind Mark Beam. Mark on softs, so he has now done 16 laps on softs. So probably not going to come in to refuel and I was going to say refuel and rearm and get out there and killing everybody, but probably not going to pit. And if he does, well, Rigel will just zip past.
No, I think he's going to pit.
So he's not going to pit. And there he goes. So let's watch Rigel coming down the hill now. He's just gone through the outer chicane, down the hill to the Rivazza. Mark Bean into the pits, not even into his box yet. Not even into his box. A long pit, like you said, like Rod has said. Just turning in now. Where's Rigel? Just now come along the straight. He's going to take first place.
I think Rigel's going to pit again, isn't he, as well?
No, he won't.
Maybe lap 50.
I don't think he will. I think he'll go the whole way now. Oh no, hang on, wait a minute. No, that's what we said. We think he'll pit and zip on softs, and he'll use this opportunity now to really gain some distance. He's got Jammer behind him, who's on softs, but he's got 7 seconds on Jammer.
We've got just under 24 minutes left on the clock. So what's that? What's that? 20 laps. Another 20 laps possibly.
Seahawks making his way through the field, coming up against his nemesis, a rightful retribution, a rightful infliction of retribution manifested through an appropriate agent. In this case, for Seahawks, it is Squid Flipper, Luca Gray. These two have had a couple of battles. Looking on the back of the wing of Luca, you can see Seahawks there just come through the outer chicane as they come down the hill towards the Rivazza. And he's gained a second. Now let's just see how Luca's tyres are holding up speed. Give us your sort of evaluation as to whether his tyres are going off or not.
I think he's doing all right. Honestly, he was quicker in the first stint. So I don't know if he's overfueled his car or something. So I don't know. He's been quite slow in the midpoint of this stint, but maybe he's been theoretically trying to save his tyres.
Yeah.
So he's going up the lap. Zach at the minute. Zach in front of him.
But right behind Luca, crikey, ever closer now, less than a second, 0.97. Be interesting to see whether Seahawks can close that up across the line, get DRS. He's now 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.7. He's going to get DRS surely. Let's jump into cockpit with Seahawks, just coming through the outer chicane now. Luca is being held up, well, not being held up, but Luca has got Zach in front of him. Hopefully Zach will zip over and move off the racing line, let Luca through, because Luca doesn't really want to have Zach in front of him right now, because that's going to allow Seahawks to close up. It's 0.5, 0.3, 0.4, so on the wing with Seahawks, he'll have DRS, surely DRS. Surely, there it is. So Seahawks has now got Luca in his crosshairs, 0.47 of a seconds behind Luca. He's got DRS. How many times can he use it, Speed? 3 times, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 times anywhere in the lap.
As he just flicks open DRS there, we just see that bit of light through the rear wing as he closes up and drops it, coming down into the Aqua Mineral. And he's staying with Luca. He's putting some pressure on Luca there. Fair play to Luca. I mean, he is holding his distance, isn't he?
Rigel's pitted, by the way.
Has he really?
Yeah, he's 9 seconds behind Milan, who's 15 seconds behind Seahacks.
Seahacks closing on Luca, has got DRS again. He was 0.47 seconds going over the line, so he's got another three DRS, or another 2 DRSs to use. Undoubtedly used it on that straight. 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Right. On the wing with Luca Gray. And Seahacks takes him on the inside through Tosa corner. But Squid Flipper keeps his head when others around us lose his, as they just now come into the Piratella down towards the Acqua Minerale. And Squid goes on the outside. Keep it together, Squid. Oh, a bit untidy, but you know what? Tom just says thanks very much and extends away in first place.
Bean's out as well.
Oh no, really? 46% there. 46% field running left after. I would never have thought that of Imola. I would have expected that to be at Paul Ricard, it being a definite Marmite track. So Seahacks now has pulled 3.3 seconds away from Luca Gray. So very clearly Luca's tyres now really are suffering. 18 minutes left of the race. His last lap was invalid because obviously he went off down at the Acqua Minerale. But wow. Phew.
So looks like we're only going to have 11 finishes.
11 finishes so far. Bit of space then. Seahacks out in first place there. First place. Last lap was a 1:16.6. Fresh tyres, only done 3 laps and then fresh tyres. Luca Gray in second place. We think he's on a 1-stopper. Be interesting to see whether he is or not. If he is on a 1-stopper, then we think that those tyres in the latter part of the race will really start to let him down and compromise what his intent was for a 1-stopper, which would have been to sort of, leapfrog everyone else when they were doing their second stop. But that's complete speculation, and that's only as a result of Luca Squid, RWB Squid, going as far as he did on the first leg, which was what, 32 laps, was it, Speed?
30 laps.
30 laps on soft, which you would not expect, would you not?
No, I didn't expect it. I don't think Rodders expected it either. So it was a Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, full of squid. The Lord is with thee. Blessed is out that line. I can never get that wrong. Holy Mary, Mother of Fish, pray for our sinners now and to the hour of all of our squids. Amen. Go on, Luca. Sorry, Rodders.
I forgot what I was going to say then. I'm too tired. No, I was going to ask, I wonder how much you've got the figures there, how much Milan's catching them up. It looks like the gap's closed.
It has. It's gone from 12 seconds down to 10.5 currently. So, yeah, I'm keen to sort of stay in. Let's stay in the cockpit here with Squid for a lap. I'll keep an eye on the timings. Give us your thoughts as he's going around, please, on whether you think his tyres are going off or not. Notwithstanding the fact he's just put a last lap in of 1:15. Now he's just gone 1:16.6. So let's have a look at the attitude of the car.
They don't look to be suffering. The main place he'll be suffering will be out of there. The hairpin, in the traction zone coming up after there. This is where you really wear your rear tyres are. Is out of this corner here. He's getting on the power and obviously just getting wheel spin. But he just seems to be managing it very well.
What wheel did Luca end up getting? Because remember the first he was driving in some sort of no-post feedback awful thing. I can't even remember.
I can't remember who was sending one. Right?
Did
Wait, Audi.
It's some difference.
Well, Squid, you know, our resident alien seems to think that your tyres are okay, and more importantly, you're being very smooth, very progressive with the throttle on these tight corners, and undoubtedly that's helping. On it like a fat kid on cake. You're doing fantastically well. 3 seconds behind C-Hacks. 15 minutes left to go. There is no more time to come in for a pits, is there not?
He can still come in and do a pits. Well,
the pits
I don't
closed?
see the no.
When do they
Yes,
close?
They don't close.
Oh,
They're always
I thought they closed
No.
10 minutes before.
You know what it tells me?
It's only there's a pit window. They have to make a pit stop pit within, which Luca has done, but the pits are always open. In theory, you can pit on the first lap. You can pit on every lap if you wanted to. It's not the fastest way to race, but you can do it if you wanted to.
Thank you. So, taking a very close look at the timings on this lap that Luca has just done, notwithstanding the fact that we've gone from 3.6 to 4.2 seconds. That's only because C-Hacks is on the straight there that time differential was affected. But C-Hacks now 4 seconds in front of Luca Gray. Milan now just crossed the line of the 10-second line, so he's now under 10 seconds away from Luca. Milan currently running in third place. Rigel 11 seconds behind him. He's on the softs now, but you're looking at a total of 15. You're looking at a total of 27 seconds behind C-Hacks. Rigel is. So if they all pit one more time, but Rigel doesn't, then he's in a position time-wise to be able to exploit that. Jammer behind him in 5th place, doing really well on softs. In 6th place, Justin Madley, 27 seconds behind him actually. Incidentally, folks, Jammer is the last person of that top quadrant, the top quadrant being 5 people of 24 runners who are now on the same lap as the leader, lap 52. Justin Madley, just into the pits now. He's on lap 51, and that time will obviously increase furthermore ways there. Ben has just now gone through RWB Nimajeb. Oh, but I can't say that. Nimajeb. I'm just going to call him Ninja. You're now known as RWB Ninja. RWB Ninja in 6th place, just overtaken Madley there. Ninja doing very well. I think he's just taken Zach Etier there. But Madley just now coming out on lap 52. So he keeps the lap 52, that middle quadrant. Flack leading on the 3rd quadrant, the last group there on lap 51 in 8th place. Well done for him. Al, fantastic to see you out there, and a safe, perfectly respectable performance in 9th position. Very well done. Zach Etier, our sponsor from Racing Sim Tools, out in 10th place on lap 51, and David de Grief currently running 11th. I'm not going to say last place. He's not in last place. There are 12, let me say that again, there are 12 retirees, 2 or 3 via hardware or let's call it mechanical issues, and the remainder by virtue of coming off the track or smashing their car up. Most notably, of course, one of the top runners there being Pinto and of course Mark Bean. Didn't see Evil tonight.
Beans he had a penalty to serve and didn't know how to do it. So ended up, just obviously he was going to get disqualified if he crossed, if he went around and did another lap. So he ended up just retiring because he couldn't serve his penalty because he didn't know how to.
Well,
so he needs to improve that for next week.
Well, yeah, and with all respect, Mark, we're close in RWB. We're also frank speakers, and let me just say this: prior prevention and planning prevents piss poor performance. So if you're not sure how to pit stop, if you're not sure how to serve penalties, get practicing, because you are too good. You are too good and too much of an example for others out there not to know how to serve a penalty. So fair play. You know, you're right up there in the top quadrants, but wow, you know, you've basically fallen off the track because of as a result of a thumb mistake, as I mentioned earlier on, which is you know, something that you can perfect. So please practice. We don't want to see you lose and not be on the grey stuff because of a thumb mistake. That's daft.
I think Luca's going to keep second here. I don't think Milan's catching him in a big enough rate. Obviously, just about to click down to 10 minutes. 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Luca's tyres just drop off. 10 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm willing to bet 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes left, and we'll start to see that car all over the place. Or not. Or not. So, you know, fair play.
If he knows how to drive it as a player, he'll be okay, but he'll still be a lot of time.
C-Hack's definitely pulling away though, Rodders and Speed. Definitely pulling away, you know, 6.6 seconds away from Luca. 2 laps ago, that was 3 seconds. So that's 1.5 seconds a lap he's pulling away from Luca.
We'll be chuffed to bits, man. We can hold it together. It's a cheery chappy, C-Hack's.
Well, he did mention to me earlier that his mother and father might be watching the stream, so it's gonna be a good one if they're still watching it. I know he said he was late, so
yeah.
I don't know if they watched it or not, but he's gonna be super happy.
Well, this is a very good.
Mummy, I'm on TV.
Yeah, this is a very good point, and you know, conscious that this is in the public domain, etc. And you know, we're not a closed club. This is now not the time to start talking about that. Thursdays we talk about that, and everyone knows who RWB is, and our doors are open and so forth. Al Gartner out there right now in 9th place. He is our oldest. He is our most senior. Is the most respectful term to put it. Actually, the next is Charger, but he's our most senior out there. You know, and certainly in the senior age. Senior, I was going to say the latter years of life. I don't think he'll thank me for that, but he's senior. You know, he's been around a bit. Let's put it like that.
I say old, but old's a badge of honour in the club.
Old. He's old. He's senior.
You're still racing.
But this guy, Rodders, Squid Flipper, Squid Lips. I've had underpants on longer than this boy's been about. He's very young. You know, he's under 16. He's incredibly quick out there. He is young and exuberant, and he makes silly mistakes, and this is the perfect cradling environment to refine young people's skills like that in sim racing. It's people like him that start sim racing, that go out there, try their hand in an old Formula 4, try their hand in Formula 3, get some sponsorship, and before you know it, it's people like this young man who's out there racing for real and getting paid the big bucks. That's when he forgets that I used to say nice things about him, and that
I wish
that we helped him.
I've always liked racing games, but I didn't get a wheel until I was bought one as a kind of half joke in my 40th, and I wish, you know, I've always liked dreaming. You go back to Pit Stop 2, I think it was in the Commodore 64 or something, in the Amiga. So the thought of being a young lad, access to the simulations that we've got to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, Rodder's speed, I've flicked onto Milan, and I'll tell you why. Because he's gained 4.5 seconds in the past 2 laps. He is closing on Luca Gray. Luca, Squid, Squid Flipper, Flipper Squid, Squid Licker, Squid is now in 2nd place at 6 seconds. So Milan really has closed up an awful lot, hasn't he? There we go. We see Milan coming down the Rivazza on the wing with Luca Gray just coming around the main strip there. No, I think that's Zach Etier just in the background there. 6 seconds. 6 seconds. 6 minutes left to go in cockpit with Luca. Let's have a look at these tyres. He's still confident.
I have to say something about Luca. He's been very consistent even on, you know, old tyres. He's, you know, 16 forwards his last lap, and I think the last 7 to 8 laps I've looked, he's been a 16 the ones that have been valid. I don't think he's had that many invalid laps in the last thing, so he's definitely growing in stature. Just maybe the aggression at the start of the race, and obviously spatial awareness is something that comes with age, not age, but experience.
Well, guess what? Milan has just had a little bit of an off or whatever, or just lost some time, because he's back down to 10 seconds, which is great news for Squid. Because if Squid keeps it on the grey stuff, notwithstanding, my prediction was in the last 5 minutes, these tyres, one-stop strategy, soft either side. He's now done 28 laps. 28 laps he's done. He's on his 29th lap on soft tyres, and he's just put in a 1:17.4. So his tyres are going off, but he's got 10 seconds behind him to Milan. He's not going to catch Seahax. Seahax is pulling away, 8.57 seconds now. And of course, he pitted much later, and his soft tyres now, they're hot, but they're certainly not going off. But Luca Gray, has to be said, I mean, he is up against it now, and fair play to him. Keep it on the grey stuff, as we see him just having a little problem there. I really, really want to see this man finish second, this young lad finish second. You know why? Because for all the right sorts of reasons, he's played a couple of dodgy moments here and there with some racecraft, but as you heard Speed say earlier on, that comes with experience. But right now, this car will be a handful, I'm willing to bet. It doesn't look it, but he's being very progressive on the throttle coming out of these corners, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing an excellent job. Obviously, we'll be talking to the top three, so Seax and Luca and Milan at the minute. And obviously, we've got a joker to pull out, someone that we're giving the man of the meeting to, but there's only from 4th to 11, so 7 spots to choose from, because everyone else is not finished.
Yeah, so that's right. Well, for me, I'm afraid it's going to go to this man currently, and that's only because, I think Luca will finish in second place, notwithstanding what I've already said, which is that he's up against the tyres going off in these last 3 minutes of the race. But Al, has been in and out, hasn't he, with racing, and, he's run a clean race, and he's going to finish in 9th position.
It's good to see Al getting through the whole race and in the top 10.
It's his first race in a while, isn't it, as well?
Exactly. And even I've been around RWB long enough to know that, Al, and recently I think he just got rid of a load of equipment as well, so he's been, he's had a bit of time away from it. And, so to finish 9th, he must be over the moon with that. The race is not over. Come on, it's 2 minutes left to go. Where are we? Seahax, we were riding with, lap 61 now. He's just put in a 1:18.3. So his tyres are going off now, because his best lap was a 1:14. So them tyres are red hot at the minute. Second place, Luca, 6.2 seconds behind old Squid, and keeping his distance as best he possibly can away from that man. Third place, Milan, as he just comes down the extended chicane there through Villeneuve into into Tosa. Rigel, 9 seconds behind him. 8 seconds behind him. Rigel in 4th place, so it's fair assessment. Oh, Luca has just got a slow down penalty. Luca has got a slow down penalty for limits abuse. So that's reduced the gap to 5 seconds. 1 minute left. So this will be the last lap, will it not?
Yeah, we've got 1 lap after this.
1 lap.
Yep. Seax is probably coming down the start finish straight roundabout. Nah.
Yep, there he is.
So the timer clicked past 1:16. That's the start finish line. So we get last lap, penultimate lap, an excellent race from Seax. Lucas still got, he was obviously he's got 5 seconds to Milan behind him. So it's not over. And that was a 1:18.9 lap time there. So versus a 1:16.4 for Milan.
And riding with Milan now, you can see Luca Gray just now going into Tosa corner, and Milan has closed up to 3.8 seconds, 3.4 seconds. Luca is really struggling on them tyres right now. He's just nursing it through. You just need to nurse it through, Squid. There are no lights for you to flash, but be aware you've got 3 seconds now. You've got Milan behind you, just coming down the bottom towards the Mineral. There he is in the background there. I reckon if there was another couple of laps, that's it. Just nurse it home now. I reckon if there was another couple of laps, I reckon it would be close between Milan and Luca.
Yeah, it'd be extremely close if there were just even another lap. So obviously, Milan's closed 3 seconds in on this lap alone. And that's
Crossing the line.
Excellent win for
Excellent win for Seahacks. Second place, Luca Grave. Very well done, Squid Lips. Third place, Milan. Well done, Milan. Fantastic run there, and really great to see you close down that gap from 10 seconds down to what was, 2 seconds. Third place, Rigel crossing the line. Fourth place. Fifth place, Jammer just coming up now. Where is he? Let me. He's already crossed. Ninja now coming up towards the last chicane, up towards the outer chicane. He's currently running in 6th. I know he'll be pleased with that, but Benjamin Rossini, I think this is. Ben is very, very quick, so I'm sure he'll be happy with 6th place around here. Hopefully the camera won't come off of him, so we'll let him have the screen time as he crosses the line along the straight there, secure 6th. Well done, Ninja. Madley in 7th place again. I know he'll be pleased with that. Actually, probably the race is not yet finished. Get over the line if you can, but fair to assess you'll finish in 7th place. 8th place, Flack. I know he'll be pleased with that. 9th place, Al Gartner, certainly not last. Zach Etier, our sponsor from Racing Sim Tools, in 10th, and 11th was David de Grief, with essentially 13 retirees on Imola. Well, bugger me, Speed. What a bloody event that was.
That was a cracking event. Shame for the mortality rate in this race, but other words, it was cracking. Really enjoyed it, and I'm going to pop down, have a quick word with the guys before I drag the top 3 down and Al Gartner for a quick word.
Absolutely.
So I'll see you in a second.
Wow, Rodders, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What did you think of that race, and how do you think it would have panned out had you been racing after seeing the performance of the rest of the?
I think I'd been in with a chance for sure. I think everyone did, to be fair, but I definitely had another few tenths in quali. I was on for a quali lap a few times, and just blew it. So I knew it was going to be tight up front. So yeah, but it was. I thought it was an excellent race. The pit stop strategy for Luca just threw the cat amongst the pigeons, because you had the normal strategies like how many stints and softs, how many mediums, what's your fuel load. But shame of all the people that dropped out for a lot of wide array of reasons. But good race. Enjoyed it. It made up for getting knocked out, getting to watch it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rodders, and it was great to have you in the commentary with us and give us some of your insights, etc. And shame to see you out there, but I'm also in the same breath very glad that there are those 3 races that can be dropped as part of the league, and undoubtedly, that's I know you've put a lot of hours into training and practicing around there, but perhaps it's not going to affect you because you can drop that. But I mentioned hours and hundreds of laps training and practicing round there, which is a perfect segue to the leader and to the winner of the race at Imola in the 3rd round of the Formula 1 for RWB International, and that was Seahacks. You must be over the moon.
My heart is in my mouth right now, mate, honestly.
Absolute commanding performance. Please, take stage. Tell us about your race and what were your feelings as you were going.
So obviously, qualifying was a bit of a mess. It looked like nobody was going to be able to put in that monster lap that everybody managed to put in the practice running up to the race, me included. I managed to get pole just a smidge in front of Milan, and then he took it back, and then on the final lap, just before the time cut out, I was on a flying lap and I was going to get pole again, but quali ended, so that unfortunately put the spike through my pole. God, I'm so nervous. Sorry. But race-wise, God, yeah. First, so I got a really good start. I managed to get almost into the front. I'm pretty sure I ended up behind, I think it was Beans or someone, I can't remember. And then I was just, it might have been Luca actually. And I was just chasing. But these cars are so hard to drive when you're actually following someone, because obviously the aero is what makes them grip. And I actually lost the car coming through one of the fast left-handers. And I didn't think my race was over, but I thought, it looks like I'm going to get a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th. So I just got my head down and got cracking. And as soon as I got a little bit of clean air, I managed to just get super consistent and catch up to everybody, basically. And thankfully, I managed to get into the lead after Luca. I think Luca was doing a one pit stop. So he did a 40. Yeah, he did a 40-minute. He stopped at 40 minutes, and I was like, that's a strange time to stop. So I was almost certain that he was on a one stop, and I knew I had another. I was sort of 22 seconds behind. I was 22 seconds behind him. And then he stopped at 40, and I was almost certain that I was going to have to do another pit stop. And I came out 4 or 5 seconds behind him, but thankfully his strategy was sort of slower in the end section, so I managed to get him. Anyway, sorry. Thank you. Anyway, it's great. It's great to win.
Well, we know you've put an awful lot of time in practicing. That clearly has paid off, and I know you've been delving into racing tools as well and really evaluating how your car is performing and so forth. But that aside, no one can take anything away from that. It was a commanding performance and some fantastic racing and some really good passing, and it was just fantastic. Speed, have you got anything for C-Hacks before we move on to Squid?
Just a question. Did your parents actually watch the race, or don't you know yet?
Yes, they did, mate. Yeah. I got 2 congratulations and a screenshot of me winning. So I love you, Mum. I love you, Dad. Thank you so much for your support.
I just want to thank my school teacher and my uncle and my mum and everyone else. Well, look, seriously, mum and dad watching it, if they are watching it and they're still listening to this, well, your boy done a great performance out there tonight. And it might just be sim racing, and some people think it's a game. Well, the only people who think that are the people that don't do it. But I can assure you that there is real life effort and energy and time and commitment that's put in for that sort of performance amongst that sort of field. So very well done, C-Hacks. On to our second position. Squid Flipper, Luca Gray. What a performance. Absolutely outstanding. If you weren't second, you would have been racer of the event, unquestionably. Just talk to us about what your thoughts were with regards to the one-stop strategy with soft tyres either side, which was a real innovative way of looking at the pit stop strategies for this race, because no one would have thought of doing that. Is that what you were thinking?
To be honest, I wasn't really sure if it was the right strategy, because I did a practice race with the AI about an hour or two before the event, and I think I ran out of fuel in the last couple laps, which I nearly did at the end of this race, which is why I slowed up a lot. And I finished with about 0.2 litres of fuel at the end.
Crikey, that's pushing it. Now, talk to us about your tyres. Your first pit stop came in at lap 30, and there were significantly 30 plus laps for the second stint. Were your tyres starting to go off, notwithstanding the fact that pulling off and letting off a bit because of your fuel situation would have helped with the tyres? But were they starting to go off?
Yeah, I had 3 reds at the end, I think, something like that.
Yeah, which is pretty much what we thought. Well, you know what, Squid? you done a great performance out there. You should be justly proud of yourself. A little bit young and exuberant with some of the sort of takes, particularly up at the Aqua Mineral and around the Alta chicane. But you know, I can't take it away from you. No one can. That was a commanding performance and very well done. Speed, over to you.
Congratulations, young whippersnapper. That was a thoroughly enjoyable race to watch, and kudos on your strategy call. Well done.
Marvellous. On to third place, Milan. Wow. You certainly had a great race as well. Again, over to you. Please talk to us about your race from your.
Well, thanks, firstly. And, well, it wasn't so perfect from my side. At least I don't think so. I was pretty much angry about my driving skill tonight because, yeah, after practicing that practice session, I've done 113, and then in qualifying, I just didn't put the lap in, and before that pole lap, I was 3 or 4 tenths quicker once, twice, and third time I fucked up again. And well, I took pole. Then in the start, well, we all saw that, so it was just a terrible start for me. And well, I knew that I'm the lowest with wings between the cars, so I knew that I will pretty easy overtake anyone, but that I will struggle in the corners. But well, looks like I have some problem with me driving between some series, and well, in FSR you just got completely another car in race and in qualifying those mods, and I was like, I backed off from the start of the race. I'm not sure why, and then I was angry because I just couldn't keep my pace up. I couldn't bring it on, and yeah, at the end I was catching, but then once one mistake, second, third, and yeah, I fucked up. Too many mistakes for me. I was pretty angry with my driving, but this is what it is. Yep.
Well, you know, mistakes or not, the fact is you secured third place, and third place is third place. So, you know, by all means, you know, take a look at, you know, your own driving style through your own eyes. But from what we were seeing, you know, you came third, and you had a couple of good battles, and only you know whether actually you could have gone faster, etc. I mean, there was a big, you know, qualifying field out there, 24, quite difficult to find some space, perhaps, but you know, third place is third place, so very well done. Speed, over to you.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Milan. Obviously, being a high race sim racer, you're critical of your overall driving, so I understand that. But it was still a cracking race from you, you know. Even though it was a good recovery to third, it's just impressive. And look forward to next week's senior race.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, and our racer event was Al Gartner, and I think Al has left us, so we won't interview him unless he comes back. Is he coming back?
I don't think so. I think he's
I don't
vacated.
think so.
I think he's vacated Discord for the night.
I think he's vacated.
Took himself.
He does his own thing, Al.
Took himself off. Al, if you watch his stream back, which of course you may well do, what we'll say is this: very well done to you. You know, you have been out of sim racing. You've jumped in and jumped out there. You haven't spent quite as many hours and hundreds of laps as some of these guys have around here in preparation for the event. You know, you kept it on the grey stuff. You ran reasonably good laps, and in doing so secured that wonderful 9th position. So very well done to you, and you were our racer of the event. Okay, gents, thank you very much. I think we're all going to kick you out now as we just close down the stream. So to C-Hacks, wonderful stuff, very well done to you, and congratulations on first place.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone.
Congrats.
And to you, Squid, well, commanding performance, well done there.
Thanks.
And a third place, Milan, you know, as you said, you know, not happy with your performance, but that's because you're a high grade racer. And, you know, but for us, you came third place and you brought the battle in. And we reckon that had there been another 2 laps, that you would have probably taken Luca, because you certainly closed up from 10 seconds to what was 3 seconds. So very well done to you, third place.
Yeah, thanks. See you next time.
Take care now. All right. Cool. Well, Speed, what are your final thoughts on that race?
That was another cracking race. I think that topped Ricard. Obviously, the finishing, the amount of finishes was disappointing, but the racing was good nonetheless. Very exciting from the start. Good recovery from Seahawks, from his poor start. Obviously, a shame not to see the Scottishman out there, Rodders, with his iron brew. So, yeah, good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a shame to not see Rodders out there, but the great thing is we will see him next week in Shanghai.
No, we won't.
You won't.
What?
I'm away, so I'll miss next week as well.
What about the week after Silverstone?
I'm gonna be back on the Friday from Mexico, and I've got a day to practice. So Silverstone will be interesting.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there in. We look forward to seeing you on the 21st at Silverstone. But well, ladies and gents, there you go. That was our race at Imola. We started with 24. We finished with 11. Lots of various different reasons why people didn't finish, right from what we call thumb mistakes that is all down to you, preparation, right down to hardware issues and a few other bits and pieces. But the bottom line was 11 finished. First place was taken by Seahawks, commanding performance, hundreds of hours worth of practice, and it paid off. And of course, his mum and his dad and his family and his teacher and his milkman are all watching, and hello to them. Second place was Squid Lips, old Squid there. Wonderful. Second place. The guy he's a kid. He's a kid. And, to race like that amongst that sort of skill out there is quite something, so look out for Squid in the future, because he is typically the sort of person that actually goes from sim racing into real racing. And we're looking forward to seeing how he performs in Shanghai. And third place was, of course, Milan, who we think that actually, if there'd been another couple of laps, would have brought it to Luca, to Squid Flipper. Well, I really enjoyed this race, Speed, very much so, and of course, very much enjoyed the time with you two.
Yeah, I've loved the night with you. It's been fun. Obviously, fun.
Well, we haven't
being here as well.
We haven't swapped spit and held hands in the commentary room now, but
Not yet.
I've loved it too.
They don't know what happens when the camera shuts off.
No, quite.
I'm not
So, quick close down. So, there we go. Round 3 completed. Join us next week for round 4 at Shanghai. Until then, if you want to find out any more information about RWB International, you know how to get hold of us, rwbracing.club. Our sponsor being Sim Racing to Race Sim Tools. And if you want to find out more about that, well, zip along to our website, click on Discord, come on in, and we'll make you more than welcome and point you in the right direction. So from Rodders and from Speed, well, he's been Speed.
He's been Tiger.
We can't get Rodders in for a three-way at the end of a 2-hour race. Goodness gracious. But no, he's been Rodders.
They've been Speeding Tiger.
There you go. They've been Speeding Tiger. Join us next week in Shanghai. Until then, take care now. Bye.
Goodbye.